You know the Zelda series, right? Right?
What?
Zelda the Legend. Yeah. Alright, a lot of people say that not only was The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time like the greatest game in video game history. It's good. Unfortunately, it's a little old now, but anyways, the final battle is what they call one of the better boss battles in history, because I mean,
with Ganondorf?
Yeah, you start out against Ganondorf.
Heroes die.
Here, let me explain.
Face me.
Let me explain the whole thing, because throughout the entire Zelda series up until this point, Ganon, not Ganondorf, but Ganon has always appeared as this big beast-like sorcerer, like just this big monster of a guy. Seriously, like totally inhuman, like some kind of demon. All right. But like when you start this Ocarina of Time, it's supposed to be like chronologically the first game, and so when you see Ganondorf, he's just a guy, right? He's a guy in black armor and everything. But you know, the final battle, you start out fighting him at the top of the castle, and he's throwing, you know, magic fire bolts at you, and you're slashing them back with your sword and shooting him with a light arrow, and then you finally finish him off. All right, and you think that's the last battle of the game, and then you know, as the castle is crumbling, you and Princess Zelda have to run all the way down to the bottom in time before it completely collapses on top of you. And then you think it's like the end of the game, everything's all peaceful, and then out of nowhere, like all of a sudden he rises up and he uses his last strength of magic power to turn himself into that gigantic monster that you've known throughout the entire series. And you're fighting this Ganon, and it's like he's just this giant demon with two big sword-like scimitar things, and it's a great battle, but that's not the one I'm talking about. Anyways, next came, well, not Majora's Mask because he wasn't in that. Next came Wind Waker, which was the cell-shaded one. No, where it looks all cartoony. Yeah, and you know, alone as a game, it was pretty good. It seemed a little out of place in the Zelda series. I don't know. The graphics distracted me, I guess. But the final battle with that one was interesting because it's the first time you ever actually go sword to sword with Ganon. And he draws out like two ninja swords, like samurai swords. And it's an actual sword fight. So that was interesting. But here's the battle I'm actually talking about. Next came Twilight Princess, which is the most recent one and my favorite. So this final battle consists of 4 stages. First of all, in Twilight Princess, it's really neat because you, as Link, because you're switching back and forth between the human realm and the Twilight realm, where you end up getting turned into a wolf, you eventually gain the ability to just switch back and forth whenever you want, like a werewolf, totally in control of yourself. So the final battle consists of 4 stages with Ganon. The first one is where he, like, possesses Princess Zelda, and you actually have to fight her.
Oh, that's sad.
And she's like floating around the room, and she's throwing magic balls at you, and she's like swinging her. She has a sword even, and she's like swinging at you, and like her, you know, the Zelda's lullaby theme is completely distorted into this evil-sounding thing. So then, when you finally like hurt her enough to where he just leaves her and she collapses, then he turns into his beast form. But he's more like a gigantic bear of a thing, and so you have to turn into your wolf form to catch up with him and chase him around the room, or like attack him. Then he flees out into the Hyrule Field, alright? And you have to chase him on horseback. He's on horseback, you're on horseback, and you're attacking him with your sword as Princess Zelda is behind you firing arrows at him. And then finally, the battle I'm talking about!
Oh my god!
Then finally, he drops, and he draws out this big sword. He creates this barrier so Zelda's separated from you, just you and him in a ring in the field. And, you know, the sky is dark, and lightning is flashing, and there's thunder in the distance, and, you know, there's like a storm coming in, and, you know, windy and dust and everything. that was an awesome battle. Because, like, that was a real fight against him.
That's not it.
Oh, it's my turn.
Lame.
Yeah. I got a queen!